Hello everybody, my name is Casey Street. My major is fisheries and wildlife biology. This is my speech to inform. I chose the topic, the relationship of the eagle and the American Indian. I choose this topic because, as we all know, this is a Native American based college, and majority of the students here are Native American. As Native Americans, the eagle is very revered to us and very sacred. The history of the eagle and the Indian starts with every tribe's own individual creation story. And the creation story that I know by heart, the Sioux one anyways, is we believe that when the Great Flood happened, there was a woman, a Sioux woman. She ran to the top of a hill, and her family all got caught up in the flood and they drowned. And then that's what eventually made the pipestone, the sacred red pipestone, and we believe that's the blood of the old people. But anyway, she survived, and we believe that an eagle, the black and white, came down from the sky and grabbed her, picked her up, and took her to a tree. And then she fell asleep, and when she woke up, that eagle turned into a man. And thus, that man and that woman created the whole Sioux nation. So we believe that we're children of the eagle, that's our fathers and our mothers, we're children of the eagle people. And we believe that the eagle is the one that flies the highest, and it takes the Indians' prayers directly to the Creator. So that's why it's highly revered and real sacred to us. In the old days, in order to earn the right to wear one, you have to do war deeds like counting food, taking scalps, stealing horses, hunting, providing, and then like spiritual deeds like sun dancing or going up on the hill, vision quest, things like that, or honorable deeds like helping someone out or taking care of someone or doing something great to benefit your people. And then in the old days, either the medicine man, the chief, or a spiritual leader, someone with high ranking and authority that had the right to give those away, gave those to those particular individuals who earned the right to do so. And then over the time, this is an older gentleman, over time, he had enough to make a war bonnet that goes all the way to the ground. Each one is something that he did in his life to earn that. So that's all something he did. Maybe that's counting coup, maybe that's taking a scalp, maybe that's killing the enemy, maybe that's sun dancing. We don't know. And a long time ago, the American Indian was known for a war bonnet. That's the typical, when people think Indian, war bonnet. And they think that's the chief, but not really, but it is. You do enough things in your life to acquire the right to wear one, and you couldn't just have one and put it on yourself. Someone respectable, someone high-ranking had to put that on you. So you have, this is all like, you earn the rights to do so, and this is a coming of age, becoming a man. And with women too, the spiritual aspect, the American Indian believes that the eagle flies the highest. I said that. Flies the highest and takes the prayers directly to the Creator. And then during the annual Sundance ceremony that takes place in the summer, the dancers blow an eagle whistle bone. And it's a bone in the wing right here of the eagle, and it's hollow. And then they carve a specific thing, and they use it like pine tar to make a groove to make where it makes a whistle. And they believe that when you do that, you call the sacred spirits, or you call the spirit of the eagle. Then the singers, they'll sing songs about the eagle, and then usually the lyrics usually go like, we pray to the spotted eagle, the black and white, or we pray to the eagle to come help us, or take our prayers to the Creator, things like that. And then when a man or a woman, they do something in their life, life to get their adult name. Like for instance, Crazy Horse, when he was a boy, his boy name was Curly. And then as a man, he earned his name through a vision quest, and that's when he earned the name Crazy Horse. So you do something to earn that, and when you earn your Indian name, for males they would get a feather, and then for the females they would get a plume. And the plumes is this right here. And this is usually on the underside of an eagle tail, and it goes like that. It doesn't lay like that. It lays underneath. And an American Indian also believes that every eagle feather is alive and has the spirit of the eagle in it. And like, not to sound morbid or anything, but like during wakes or funerals, we'll have eagle feathers in the casket, but like when it comes to putting them into the ground, we take all of the eagle feathers out because we believe you're not supposed to bury anything that's alive. And we believe no matter what, those are always alive. And that's why it's highly regarded, and they take care of them, and they adorn them, they pray with them. And this man right here, his name is Pete Ketches. He's from Pine Ridge, South Dakota, from the Manderson community. And I don't know if you can see, but he has eagle feathers pierced to his skin. And that's just a part of his prayer and his sacrifice to the eagle. And that's just another way of saying like how important the eagle is to us, and how like the feathers of the eagle is very sacred to the American Indian. And every tribe is different, not everywhere is the same, not every tribe believes the same, but it's generally believed that every single tribe regards the eagle as the highest. And then modern use, we usually use it for powwow. Like, these are my powwow dance sticks right here that I use. I hold in my hands, and this is like rabbit fur and cowtail dyed turquoise. And this is just my side feathers that I wear in my hair. My powwow dance. And this gentleman right here is my uncle, Tim Whitehouse. And then modern times, how Indians come about getting eagle feathers is through the National Eagle Repository, and that's located in Denver, Colorado. So what they do is if, like, say, poaching, or like one gets electrocuted, or one gets lead poisoning, or one gets hit from wind turbines, or whatever, they find a dead one, they usually call it fishing game, and they get bagged up and then mailed to the Eagle Repository, and they have a waiting list. And if you're federally enrolled, every single one of you can apply for an eagle, and there's a specific types. So you can get a bald eagle; those usually like 3 months. But the highly sought after is the black and white, and those it could come like 3 to 6 years for those. And the waiting list for the eagle's feathers is like more than like 6,000. And for birds to come in, and they have people that look at them and like see if they're worthy to send off. Because sometimes you could get a nice one, but it could be mangled up or bloody or ruined, and there's no saving it. So they go through it, and eventually 3 to 6 years is usually the waiting time for a immature golden eagle. But for a bald eagle, that's like 3 months. And then modern times, like what I see usually is graduation time. People adorn like eagle feathers on their caps or eagle plumes on their caps. And that's just to pay homage to the eagle. And in spiritual teachings, like what I was taught anyways, I'm not saying what I know is right or wrong, but just what I was taught. However you're taught, that's the right way to. But just to share what I was taught is that the eagle is the direction of east, and that's yellow, and we believe that yellow and the east, that's the direction of knowledge and enlightenment comes from, and we believe that the eagle belongs to that direction, the black and white. So it makes sense as to why they would put the eagle feather or eagle plume on their graduation caps, is to pay homage to that knowledge, to the direction of the east and all that, and plus taking your prayers directly to the Creator, the bird that flies the highest of all of them. And when in spiritual teachings, anyways, in the spiritual aspect, Sue, anyways, is that we believe that the eagle is the chief of the day and the owl is the chief of the night. So usually, if I go back to that war bonnet picture, he had owl feathers on there too. So he's paying homage to that balance of night and day, the chief of the day, the chief of the night. You know, everything had a meaning and a purpose, and you know, in the olden days, you know, everything meant something. And even to your leggings, like if you had like black stripes on your leggings, that was a coup you counted. Or if you had like marks on your rifle and your bow, that was kills you. Like something you killed and eventually added up and you made a design out of it. Or if you wore an arrow in your hair this way, that means you killed the enemy with the arrow. Or if you wore a feather that was dyed red, that means you cut an enemy's throat. So different things and different meanings that comes with these sacred birds, and the history of it goes back since the beginning, creation time, and but the conclusion, you know, the history of the relationship dates back to each tribe's respective creation story, and the bird plays a huge role in spirituality and status among American Indian. So when you have these things, it's not necessarily showing off, like, look at me, materialistic things. It's these are all the good things I've done, and I'm proud. And I don't have to say anything because I have these feathers. They do the talking for me. So that was just the purpose of those things, is to proud of yourself, proud of your people, proud of your family. And sometimes too, individuals would make staffs, and those usually may like represent the family, like your whole family, a family staff. And this man right here, he's a Hidatsa, so just north of here. His Indian name was Eagle Hunter, and as you can see why. And they have a book about eagle trapping the Hidatsa way, and what they would do. They would dig a pit like 6 foot deep or 5 foot deep anyways, and they put like a bunch of brush on top and like a dead carcass, like a rabbit or a fox or something, a coyote. And then when they would do this, they'd go into ceremony and they would have to fast, like no food, no water, that whole time you're in that pit. And you could be in there a day, an hour, 4 days, 5 days, a week. But they believed and had so much faith in their own prayers and what that means to them, that they were willing to fast, to die of thirst and starvation in that pit, just to have eagle feathers. So that anyways, they would sit in there, and then one would land on there. They grab their feet, pull them down, and then they would have to kill them in the pit. So you'd have to watch those eagle claws. And a long time ago in the Sundance, you know, in the spiritual aspect, you know, we didn't have knives or scalpels or anything. So the olden days, how they would pierce was the thumbs of the eagle. They're the sharpest and they're the thickest. And then when they're young, they're sharp. So what they would do when the Sundance, they would lay you down and push those eagle claws through your skin, like through your chest or your shoulders or your back, and then you're pierced up to the tree, or you're dragging buffalo skulls. You know, just those beliefs and how special it is to the American Indian. And in the modern time, you know, that's outlawed. You know, can't do that. But if you're an enrolled member of a federally recognized tribe, you have the right to possess them, and as many as you want, because you can prove that you belong to a federally recognized tribe, and that they can't take that away from you. And because of that Eagle Act too, and the Religious Freedom Act of 1976, this is based on religious freedom and religious purposes, and the National Eagle Repository, that's part of the Department of Interior. And they have to follow that Religious Freedom Act, so they distribute eagles and eagle parts to those that apply. But I have a video of that story. It tells it better than I can. I'll just end it with this video.
Western lands. To get away from the rising waters, many tribes fled to the hills of the prairie, now called the Caddo in northeastern South Dakota. In the Caddo, the water rose higher and higher until it covered all our people. Their flesh and blood were turned into red pipestone. So say the old ones. But near the end, as the waters came on without stopping, there was one who was the most brave and beautiful of all her people. And still she tried to escape the waters lapping at her feet. At last Wangali, the great eagle, swooped down from the realm of the Thunderbird, and the young Dakota maiden caught hold of his feet. The eagle carried her away and away. At last he brought her to the top of a tree on a great hill. When the waters went down, the war eagle, now changed into a mighty warrior, came down from the hilltop of the maiden, leading twins. So the great Sioux nation was born.